Hello! I'm having one of those days where I just cannot make any art. I've tried a few different things and everything has been a disaster, so I've given up for the day, and I thought I might open this box of Lego and see if I could put this bouquet together. How cool is this? Nick got this for me for Christmas. Unfortunately, he had to click and collect, and that is what happened to it. It was a squished box and he couldn't choose another one. Doesn't matter. I'm only interested on what's inside of it. And so let's get into it. So Nick's been getting into Lego lately, and I must say they have some really great sets for adults. And I'd seen this one in the shop when he was looking for other ones, and I expressed my admiration for it, so he got it for me, which is very sweet of him, and I'm very curious to put it together and see what it looks like. It has 756 pieces. For a moment I thought it had 10,000 pieces, but that's actually just the code of the type of Lego that it is, and it's for 18 plus, so this is definitely for adults. So inside is what looks like a bunch of bags full of Lego pieces. So I'll pull everything out and then we'll see what came in the box. So here's everything that's inside. What I do quite like about the Lego is that they actually put them in individual bags, so you can do one bag at a time, and it makes it so much less confusing than if it was just all in one bag and you're hunting for millions of pieces. This at least puts the pieces in order, so you start out with the first bag and then move on to second and third, etc. It also comes with a manual, which is also in a bag. It even has the types of flowers that are in the bouquet, so there's a rose, a snapdragon, that one's so cute, common daisy, California poppy, plants from plants. These elements represent the first steps to a bigger mission to make Lego bricks from sustainable sources by 2030, so that's pretty good. And then it's got a little separator thing here so you can prise the pieces apart if you accidentally put them together. These are actually really great because I've done that before, put the wrong pieces together. And then it shows what's in each bag, and then I guess we go into the instructions on how to put the stuff together. So I'm going to need to sit down and read this a bit, and I will get building it. I will admit that I had not a clue what I was doing to begin with. I was trying to read the instruction book, but it was quite confusing. So in the end, I actually went and asked Nick to come and help me get the thing started. And he was really great at just explaining what you were supposed to do with the bags of pieces, because if you probably noticed at the beginning, there were multiple bags that had the same number on them. So there were 2 bags with number 1, a couple of bags with 2s on them, and then one with number 3. So what I couldn't quite work out is which number 1 bag do I open first, but Nick explained to me that you actually open all of the bags that have the same number on them, and you can set them up in little stacks, which you can see they are in that tray to the right hand side. And then you just have to rummage around for the pieces. It tells you how many pieces of each part that you require at any given time. So once I got the hang of it, it made a lot of logical sense and it was easy to put together myself. So the daisies were first up, and I managed to get one of the daisy heads put together like this. Nick did another one for me because, of course, once he got going in the Lego, he couldn't stop putting them together either. I eventually had to shoo him away because he would have just done the whole thing. It's so addictive, I tell you. I was really surprised at how much fun it is. And you can see he's still helping me out here. He was counting out all of the pieces for me. So the book will say you might need 16 pieces of something, and it will have a number there so you can read that. But otherwise, the instruction manual does not have any written instructions. It's only pictures and numbers. So it was a little confusing to begin with, I will admit. But after a while, it became a lot easier. It wasn't as difficult as it first looked, which I'm very thankful for. So here I am going on with the second lot of daisies. There were 2 daisy stems in this first bag, and I soon got into a rhythm of putting all the pieces in together with the certain patterns that they had. So Lego seems to have come a long way from what I remember as a kid. They have such amazing kits these days, and I know there are quite a few people that will complain that it's not exactly making it up for yourself, but it is just really fun to make these sculptures out of Lego, and it's like putting any other model together, like a model car or plane or something. It's that same sort of pleasure of putting something together and having a picture which makes it a lot easier to do so, because I highly doubt that I could put this together out of imagination. But now I'm working on the 3 roses that came in the set, and you can see every so often I'm pausing, and that's because I'm reading the instructions and then putting things up the wrong way and all of that fun stuff. So I did make quite a lot of mistakes in this and had to go back and pull a few things apart again, because by now Nick had left me to it, and so all of this is done by me. And I'd actually sorted out all of the pieces so that I could make these second 2 roses a lot more quickly. They came together really fast. I finished the entire bouquet in one day, a day being about 5 or 6 hours of working on it straight. So yeah, I was pretty tired by the end of it, and my fingers were so sore. I'll talk about that a bit later when it came to some specific tiny pieces. But for now, the roses were going okay, although I'm not at all a big fan of the colour of the petals. It's this sort of yucky flesh colour, and I think they could have chosen a nicer one for that. I think they would have looked good as red or yellow, perhaps. Or even a peach colour that just wasn't quite that gross beigey flesh. But anyway, now I'm putting together the stems of the roses, and they even had thorns on them, which I thought was a funny little touch. And you can see there's tiny little red pieces which go inside those green pieces to lock them all together. They're all very good quality, and all of the pieces stuck together perfectly, so there were no glitches or issues, and I'm very happy to say that there were no missing pieces in any of the bags. In fact, there were a few spare pieces which seem to come with all Lego kits. And now here I go, putting the roses onto the stems. And I'd forgotten about those little brown pieces, I found them right at the end. But here's my first part of the bouquet, 3 roses and 2 bunches of daisies. So the next bags were the 2 with 2s on them. And I am just dropping them out into groups onto the tray. Nick said it's just much easier to use a tray so that they don't scatter everywhere. And there was a tiny bag inside the bag, and here are the flowers I'm going to be making with these 2 bags. So starting again from scratch. It was going much faster at this point because I'd gotten the hang of following the instructions and clipping all the pieces together. It's been a long time since I've really put any Lego together, and I was reliving my childhood here a little bit. But it's a far more complex thing than I ever made as a kid. I think Lego got wise to the fact that people who have grown up with Lego still really love to use it as an adult, and so they have really designed a lot of their kits for the adult market and for teenagers as well and older children, because we're more likely to spend the time to actually put these things together, and Lego is not cheap. Some of these kits cost hundreds of dollars. We saw one, it's a Millennium Falcon, and it's, I think, their largest kit. It was $1,300, and Nick really wants it, but I'm just going, I can't afford it, so you're just gonna have to wait. But if we ever find that kit on special, I think we might have to buy it. Although apparently it's massive, so I don't even know that we have room in the house for it. Okay, so now I'm getting onto the really fiddly Legos. You can see they are tiny little pieces, and this bunch of flowers, which I think are the snapdragons, they were so little, but they were really fun to put together, and I love those little claw pieces that clip onto the bars, because it means that the Legos actually move around rather than being completely static, and you can kind of push them into place so that they look a lot more natural. I will give credit to Lego that even though their stuff is expensive, they have spent a lot of time with attention to detail and actually making quality parts. So you do get what you pay for in this case, and I think that the value of them is kind of warranted because they have just spent so much time researching their models and making them so that they are quite realistic, you know, in the sense that they're Lego. And it is just a really fun hobby putting these things together. I found that I was quite relaxed and just letting my hands put this thing together while I listened to music and just completely zoned everything else out. So Lego is pretty therapeutic and kind of reminds me a little bit of things like diamond paintings, where I'm just not really needing to think too much, although it took a while to figure out those instructions, I will admit. So on to the next bit, and I finished up bags 2. And once again we have some stems and leaves I like the leaves on these. I think it just makes it look a little bit more like an actual bouquet of flowers. And here's those red things again to go inside the green bits. They're very effective at locking the pieces together though. And after assembling them all, now I have 2 lots of snapdragons here, and then a couple of green foliage things, and that bright orange California poppy. I really like that one. In fact, I liked all of the colours in that lot. So number 3, this is the last lot of bags, and it turned out to be the fiddliest. There are so many tiny pieces in there, and I'm going to be making some more flowers, a lavender and an aster. And by the end of this, my hands were really sore because there were so many tiny little pieces. I probably should have done this over a longer period of time and taken breaks, but I just really wanted to film the whole thing and get this video up today, so I did push it a little bit. But yes, do be aware if you are putting Lego together that it can cause hand fatigue quite quickly, and it's a good idea to do stretches in between sessions of putting things together. And I did end up doing this quite a lot near the end off camera, especially after dealing with these teeny tiny little purple flowers that took ages to get on all of those stems. It does look pretty neat at the end though, I have to admit. And here are all the flowers and leaves that I put together for this. This is everything that was in the kit. So it made quite a lot of stuff. I found a vase in the living room and I'm doing some ikebana to put all of the flowers together. I was trying to arrange them as they were on the box, but it didn't work very well. It's really hard to move them around and they are not very bendable, unlike normal flowers, so I did have to struggle a bit, but I got there in the end, and I really do love this Lego bouquet of flowers. And here's my finished bouquet of flowers. Aren't they pretty? And they're going to last much longer than real flowers. Here it is in my studio, just up with all of my other little ornamentations. So I'll keep it here for now. I may decide to move it eventually, but I had a lot of fun with this. It was really neat to put this together, and I can see why Lego becomes addictive, because this was super fun, and it's not as difficult as it first looks, that's for sure, although some of these tiny little pieces, like those ones, absolutely killed my thumbs. Ow, my hand's so sore now. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was fun to put it together. Let me know if you would want me to put anything else together. I might need to get another set of Lego at some point. And I just had to buy Nick a Lego Lamborghini for his birthday. This one looks pretty epic. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and click that subscribe button. And I will see you all again really soon in my next video. Take care out there. Swatch you later. Bye.